Welcome to episode 235 of the Fabulously Keto podcast. And I'm squeezing in this because today I've got with me Sam Feltham, as he's the founder. Welcome to episode 235 of the Fabulously Keto podcast. And I'm squeezing this in because today I've got with me Sam Feltham, and he's the founder of the Public Health Collaboration charity. Each year, the PHC hosts a brilliant conference packed with amazing speakers, and I've been going every year since it's been live. This year, I was dithering about whether to go or not, but once Maya Sutherland, last week's guest, decided that she was going, she didn't leave me alone, and she's been on my case ever since. So last week, I finally got my ticket, and I managed to grab a quick chat with Sam to find out who will be speaking and what topics we can look forward to. Now that I've decided, I'm actually really excited. And if you haven't got your ticket yet, there's still some available to attend live in London. The conference is on the 31st of May and the 1st of June in Euston, London NW1. And if London's too far, no worries, you can watch the live stream. And as Sam tells us, you don't have to be available on the day to watch. You can catch the replay for up to a month afterwards. To get your tickets, just head to the phcukconference.org, and there will be a link in the show notes. So here's a bit about Sam. Sam Feltham has been in the health industry for over a decade. Starting out as a party coordinator at a sports centre, he worked his way up to study at the European Institute of Fitness and qualified as a master personal trainer. After 5 years of running a fitness bootcamp business with a successful podcast, Sam shifted his focus to improving public health by setting up and directing the registered charity Public Health Collaboration, whose mission is to empower people to achieve good metabolic health through sustainable whose mission is to empower people to achieve good metabolic health through sustainable lifestyle changes. So let's go and hear from Sam and about the PHC conference that's coming up soon. Welcome back, Sam, to the Fabulously Keto podcast. It's fabulous to have you back with us today.
It's absolutely brilliant to be back. We were just saying that I was on at the very beginning, basically, like within the first 10 episodes, I think.
I remembered it was number 10. I was quite pleased. Not only that, we must have recorded way before it was released, because I nabbed you in the PHC conference in 2019 and said, will you come on my podcast? So yeah, you waited a while and then still came. So that was great.
Oh, absolutely. And how time flies when you're having fun and trying to change the world.
I know.
5 years ago. My word.
And we've been going at it for a bit longer than that. So yeah.
Exactly. No, yeah, absolutely brilliant. And I was just complimenting you on your emails as well. Your emails are thoroughly entertaining. So if you haven't subscribed to Jackie's newsletter, be sure to get on that. Yeah, because I think you're a very good writer, Jackie. So that's great.
Thank you. It's coming up with all the different stories that, it takes time. Yeah. Sometimes I know instantly what I'm going to write, and then other times I have no idea. So it's quite interesting.
Oh, that's fun.
So the reason you're on, and we're just slotting this in very quickly, is because you wanted to talk about the PHC conference. I just burst out laughing yesterday because I decided to come, and I got a message from my friend Joanne McManamy in Florida, who sent me a message yesterday and said, "I've decided to come to the PHC conference."
Awesome. All the way from
Because
Florida. That's great.
yeah, she comes. She's been every year recently, since Sheffield,
Mm,
and we were talking about it. About when did we go out for lunch? We went out for lunch, March, I think it was,
right.
or the beginning
Nice.
of April. The beginning of April. So with Nairi, Mississippi, and Joanne and I went
Mm,
out for lunch, and we went to the Caldesi restaurant in Marylebone.
brilliant.
And we were
Brilliant.
sitting there and we were saying, "Are we going to go? Are we going to go?" And it's like, I don't know, I don't know. And we all decided that we weren't going to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And now we're going.
There you go.
We're in
We get you in
Sheffield.
the end. We get you in the end, Jackie. I think the draw is too much. Just to kind of put it into context for everyone listening, the theme for this year's conference is prevention or prescription. So it's really about kind of this I don't want to say conflict, but this back and forth between preventative measures of healthcare and a purely prescriptive model of healthcare. If you look at it from the angle of Dr. David Unwin, when he presents his type 2 diabetes patients with the path of lifelong medication forever, or start lifestyle changes with minimal medications and with the aim to actually come off of them entirely. According to David, he's never had anyone turn him down in terms of lifestyle changes for type 2 diabetes, which is absolutely incredible. So it's it's really going to be a case of discussing things like weight loss injections,
Oh, yeah.
ketogenic diets for cancer as well. Seed oils is in amongst there as well. There's been a lot of debate around that. So that's going to be a very interesting conversation. And then finally, just in general, the future of healthcare. What does the future healthcare system actually look like? And how can we bring in more preventative healthcare so that we can use the pharmaceuticals and surgical interventions at appropriate times,
Yeah.
but not just completely rely on it, which is really kind of the current model. I'm really excited.
Yeah. I remember back in 2019, so at the PHC conference in London, the head of the, where were we? It was the GP, not the Institute of GPs,
Yeah, Royal College.
the
Royal
Royal College
College.
of
Yeah.
GPs, and he came up and he spoke about how at some point in the future we will get up and we will have a mirror and it will tell us if we're ill or not. And I sat there and I thought, oh, that's amazing. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And now I've completely flipped the other way. I
Yeah.
am so against anything like that. And I do not want anyone interfering in my health at all, not even a mirror, a
Yeah.
computerized mirror, especially not a computerized
Doing
mirror.
you a scan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I just like, no, I don't want that. So for
Yeah.
me, I'm actually a bit scared of going to the doctors nowadays.
Yeah.
I think having medical trained doctors who are
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily looking to put you on a prescription or
Yeah.
send you down a route that they currently do, I think
Mm-hmm.
would be amazing. And
Yeah.
I just wish David Oliver and Kim
Yeah, Kim
let
Andrews,
me
yeah.
will let me come to their practice because they only live down the road from me, but I'm too.
Oh, do
Yeah.
they? Oh, that's such a shame. You can't transfer to theirs.
No, I said to Viv that I would go and live with her and then I could get into their.
There you go. Or what you could do maybe is if you just get registered at Viv's address or something like that, and then
Yeah.
you can technically actually go to that GP practice.
Yeah.
But no, that's a real shame. And yeah, no, just the caliber of speakers we've got this year is really high. We've got Dr. Eric Westman, low carb legend in my eyes. Certainly, I was speaking to the other day and calling him a pioneer. He's like, "Oh, I'm not sure if I'm a pioneer." It's like, so he did like a clinical internship with Robert Atkins back in the day, and he was the first one to do like a low carb pilot and things like this. And he's still like, "Oh, I'm not a pioneer." It's like,
I
you are
know.
insane. You absolutely are. And yeah, so Dr. Eric Westman, who's an internist from Duke University in North Carolina, really excited to have him there. Of course, Dr. David Unwin, a low carb legend in himself, and then his wife, Dr. Jen Unwin, talking on food addiction. Alongside her, we've got Ellen Bennett, who's a registered dietitian and our operations manager for Liberate, our ultra processed food addiction coaching service. And then Professor Mark Cucuzella, who's a family physician as well as a professor at Washington State University.
I've been in contact with him a few times about coming on the podcast, and we never seem to get it together. As with Eric,
so get him down at the conference.
As with Eric Westman, you know, we've had emails going backwards and forwards over years, and we just don't get it.
Oh, so this is your opportunity, Jackie, to actually like get him by in person, get it in writing.
Yeah,
fantastic. And then following that, we've got our very own Helen Gowers who'll be talking about the results of the Lifestyle Club study that we did with the University of Surrey, which is exciting. Then our patron and beneficiary, Steve Bennett, who'll be talking all things chronic disease. And then rounding out day one, we've got Dr. Chris Kenobi talking about seed oils.
Yeah.
In conversation with Campbell Murdoch, we did try to find somebody to debate him, and we were so close to getting somebody who was pro seed oils to debate him, but they pulled out. We did have somebody, but there was a real scheduling conflict, which was a shame because he was really keen to do it. The search continues to get debates going.
Well, Nina tried to goad him at Sheffield, didn't she?
Yes, there was a bit of that.
Yeah,
definitely. Just getting into the nitty gritty of the detail. But yeah, no, we really tried to get the likes of Sarah Berry and Tim Spector and people like that who are obviously very pro seed oils and things like that. So that was a real shame that we didn't get it.
That would have put him on the spot. I'm interviewing him next week.
Great.
When this podcast comes out, I'm going to be interviewing him. So.
Oh, perfect. So Chris can talk about the conference too.
Yeah.
It is great. That's fantastic. So yeah, that's day one. And then, as you mentioned, the Caldesi's restaurant, we've got the Saturday evening dinner at the Caldesi's restaurant in Marylebone, which would be absolutely wonderful. Unfortunately, it's sold out now, so there are no more tickets. But that should be really, really nice. And Katie and Giancarlo have been very kind. And, you know, we've got the whole restaurant.
Wow.
Right, so we've booked out the entire restaurant, which is crazy. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then day two, the whole morning of day two is on ketogenic diets for cancer therapy, which is going to be absolutely incredible. Kicking off is the probably most world-renowned mind on this, Professor Thomas Seyfried, Professor of Biology from Boston College. He's going to be obviously talking about keto for cancer. And then following that, our very own Dr. Isabella Cooper, who will be going into the nitty-gritty on mitochondria and things like that. And yeah, for everybody that doesn't know Isabella, has she been on the podcast?
I have emailed her a couple of times, but I haven't had a response.
And another one that you're going to have to pin down at the conference. I'll help you out if you want.
Yeah, I might need your help.
Happy to. And yeah, no, she's at the
Except you'll be running around like a mad thing.
I will be. All it takes is Isabella talk to Jackie, make it happen. That's it. Then I'll keep on running.
And I want Matthew Phillips as well.
Yes, exactly. Of course, following is Matthew Phillips, who's a metabolic neurologist from New Zealand. Yeah, talking kind of along the same lines. And then all of that accumulates into a panel discussion, which is going to be chaired by Anthony Shafee. He's going to be facilitating that conversation on keto, mitochondria and cancer therapy and all of that jazz, which is going to be really, really interesting. Then the afternoon is kind of the future of healthcare. And obviously that's a very broad kind of subject, but the three talks that lead up to the panel at the end are quite specific. So, of course, we've got Anthony Chafee talking about the future of healthcare. The real healthcare crisis that we're facing at the moment, to put things into context before the panel itself. Then we have Damien Downing, who is the president of the British Society of Ecological medicine, and he's going to be talking about infrared light therapy.
Oh wow.
And where that sits in everything, and how that can be obviously massively helpful for people. And it's not, obviously you can't get that on prescription.
No, exactly.
On the NHS, can you?
Well, you should be able to.
Precisely, exactly. So you should be able to, like, these things should be accessible on prescription. Just imagine that. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then in the last of those talks, Dave Feldman, who's one of the researchers behind the lean mass hyperresponder study that's recently come out, and he's also the main presenter on the Cholesterol Code documentary that's going to be coming out at some point this year.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, I literally spoke to Dave on Friday. I don't know if you saw in my interview on the PHC social media channels. So yeah, he's going to be revealing all of the controversy that's been surrounding it and everything. He's been very open about that he's going to be approaching all of that at the PHC conference. So really, the PHC conference is the first place that you're going to hear about all of this from Dave. And so we're incredibly lucky, honoured that we're going to have the exclusive on the hyperresponder study. So that's really exciting. And then, that final day culminates in the Future of Healthcare panel with those three speakers. And that's going to be chaired by Dr. John Shoonby, who's the Chief Medical Officer for Swiss Re, which is the largest reinsurer in the world. And for those that don't know what that means, they're the insurance company that insures insurance companies. Basically, they're the foundation of a lot of insurance companies. So yeah, it's really exciting that he's interested in this space.
Yeah, and they're really taking an interest in metabolic health and improving health, and people getting access to lifestyle changes in the workplace and all things like that. So that'll be really interesting as well.
Oh, massively. And that's really why I wanted him to be the chair of that, because he's got a real kind of bird's eye view of the whole healthcare system. And plus, Swiss Re, as you say, have got a massive interest in improving people's metabolic health. Not only is it good for people to get healthier, but for their bottom line, if people stay healthier for longer on their health insurance plans and they don't have to pay out as much, then it's financially within their interest. So there is a ulterior motive there somewhat from the insurance companies, but it's a happy ulterior motive, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. And we have an health insurance broker, and he said the other day, but you've never used it. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. I hadn't used it. Don't need it, but that's great.
100%. That's what it's about. And yeah, this whole concept of trying to increase your health span across your lifespan, that's what we're trying to do, and that's what your Swiss Re are trying to do as well. So when you have like a minimal amount of unhealthy at the end of your life, if hopefully not at all.
That's what I say to people. And when I'm working with clients, it's like the current trajectory is when you hit 30, you start to decline, your health gets worse. You hit 40, it's getting worse and worse, and then you're down in an endless spiral of hospital appointments. So at the time when you should be enjoying your life, you're not working anymore and you want to be doing stuff, you're stuck going from hospital appointment to hospital appointment. That's not a great quality of life. For me, life is full out, sit down, drop dead.
Yeah, exactly. And we really need to step back and change that model, because that's most people's existence at the moment, which is really, really sad. I mean, I was over the moon just before Christmas, because my neighbour, so the local GP practices around me, commissioned the Lifestyle Club, which was absolutely excellent. So they got to refer their patients into the Lifestyle Club, which is our type 2 diabetes remission service, and pre-diabetes as well. And my neighbour across the road, she's in her early 50s, got a diagnosis of pre-diabetes, got referred into the Lifestyle Club, and she's reversed it.
Yeah.
So she's put a stopper in that usual path of pre-diabetes for 5 to 10 years, and then after that develop full type 2 diabetes, and they get worse and worse and worse. and not only having less of a quality of life but more of a financial burden on the NHS and everything. But now just put a stopper in it, which is absolutely incredible. And we worked this out for another case study within the Lifestyle Club, and at about 50, if you're living to an average lifespan of type 2 diabetic to about 75, over those 25 years, if you put a stopper in having to take medication for it, then you're going to be saving the NHS about £15,000 in drugs alone, not even taking into account if you're preventing an amputation or eye surgery or anything like that, which costs a lot more. But just that itself saves £15,000 just for one person.
Yeah.
Right. So multiply that by the 3.5 million people in the country.
I know.
It's astonishing.
It is. But it's all down to, this is what you're trying to do with the PHC, is to get the word out there to doctors and nurses. There's so many doctors and nurses that come to the conference and are part of it and help out and all those sorts of things. We need to get to so many more doctors and nurses and get them on board. And I know we've got lots, but we need lots more, like 10 or 20 times, no, 100 times more. Yeah,
easily. Yeah, definitely. And it's starting to the exposure of it is getting more and more. We're getting into like more and more networks and things like that. For instance, I was invited to speak at a Royal College of General Practitioners education event over the summer, which is really exciting. So, more and more doors are opening. We're still in the early adopters phase, but I feel like we're in the late stages of the early adopter phase, and we're starting to approach the early majority.
Yeah.
Which I'm really, really hopeful for. And when we hit that early majority, hopefully, the bell curve will hit half the population, both in members of the public and healthcare professionals, and then it's kind of hopefully easy street after that.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I'm looking forward to Sunday because really interested in the cancer side. Because when we were at Sheffield and Sophia Clemens came, and I just up until that point I thought, if I get cancer, I have no idea what I will do, whether I will take conventional medicine or not. I have absolutely no idea. And I heard Sophia Clemens speak and I thought, I'm decided. There's no way I'm going down that route. So I'm really interested to hear them, because I know, like Thomas Seyfried is not necessarily anti-conventional medicine.
No.
That's just me. But the other side of it is the afternoon is, what does healthcare look like? Because I was listening to another podcast, wasn't health related at all, but he was talking about how do you change something? You have to know where you are, but you have to be able to see where you want to go. And when you can see what that future looks like, then it's quite easy to get there. But until we verbalize that and put it, give it a frame and a view of how it will look like, it's really hard to get there because we don't really know. So we're all just doing our own little bit of helping people stay healthy. But what happens when they're not quite healthy?
Yeah, exactly. And inspiring people, because that's often the stumbling block. And, that's often why people go down the route of just prescription drugs, for instance, just because they can't see themselves achieving health through lifestyle changes. They might kind of get the logic of it, reduce the amount of carbohydrates you're eating, so it reduces your blood glucose and reduces your insulin as well. But then, actually kind of envisaging themselves doing that and becoming somebody completely different is out of their grasp. And so, being in the position of being a healthcare professional or a health coach, trying to help that person see that path, as you say, to achieving health again is paramount. But my hope is that, as we accumulate more and more stories, we can present those stories of someone's similar background so that they can start to believe, basically believe in themselves.
It is a belief thing.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, no. So although we've got a heck of a task in front of us, there's a lot of hope as well.
So do you because you put on the conference, I always see you running around like a mad thing.
Yeah.
Do you ever get to watch the speakers?
Yeah, yes, I usually do watch most of the talks actually there on the day, but those that I don't watch, I will watch back on the recordings. Speaking of which, yeah, I mean, for those not in the know, both in person and live stream tickets are available, and you can actually re-watch up to a month afterwards. So don't feel like you have to be available that weekend to watch it if you're just live streaming. So you will be able to rewatch it. And for those that have got in-person tickets like yourself, Jackie, you've got access to the recordings as well. So you'll be able to rewatch straight afterwards as well. So that's really good. But yeah, no, those that I do miss, I just rewatch. And then in 6 months' time, towards Christmas, we always put it all up on YouTube for people to watch as well. And yeah, love reading the YouTube comments, particularly on the on the discussion panels around cholesterol and things like that. It's always fun.
Yeah, I've never thought of looking at those.
Oh yeah, no, it's a whole dumpster fire in itself. But
That would be interesting to go back.
nah, so it's not that bad actually. It's been pretty cordial and really quite good.
Yeah, I'm not a great YouTube watcher, and if I do, I never look at the comments. So
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
watch the video and then I'm
Oh,
on and do something
yeah,
else.
that's probably the wise thing to do, Jackie. Like avoid the comment section as much as possible.
Yeah, but I can see how people might get a bit heated.
They do. And I mean, just the anonymity of being behind a keyboard doesn't help because it lowers your empathy, basically. You start to just see things from your point of view rather than trying to challenge yourself to see things from other people's point of view, which is always difficult. So you just, if you're ever in a comment section and you end up in a heated argument, just step back and try to see things from everyone's point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we were all the same, it would be a terribly boring existence.
Yeah,
We all need
totally.
different points of view.
Exactly. Oh, 100%. And getting your point of view challenged is vital for the improvement of humanity. We're all trying to improve humanity in any which way we can. The only way we do that is by getting down to the nitty gritty on details and solutions. The only way you can do that is just by discussing it and improving it,
Yeah.
basically. So, yeah, 100%.
So before we go to the part where you're going to tell everyone how they can get their tickets, is there anything else you wanted to talk about today?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention how exciting I think the near future is for healthcare. Doors are starting to open up for the public health collaboration. We've got 2 studies coming out this year, the one from the Lifestyle Club, so that's a type 2 diabetes focus with the University of Surrey. Then we've got another paper coming out on food addiction project, Liberate, that's being led by Ellen Bennett. And so, yeah, we've got these 2 really important papers that's going to throw a bit of a cat amongst the pigeons, let's say, and maybe create some discussion around that in the mainstream channels when it comes to both types of diabetes, but also eating disorders as well, particularly eating disorders, in fact. So that's going to be really interesting. So that's really exciting. But the main thing is that as we do grow, it becomes more and more to handle. So we need more and more support, basically. So if anybody out there does want to help support us, whether it be as a volunteer or become a member for UK residents, non-pensioners it's £75, pensioners and students it's £50 a year, for international members it's £100 a year, because we send out members packs via post. That's why it's a little bit more for international. But that financial support really gives us a strong foundation on which to build everything that we're trying to build, basically, and it is vital funding for us to continue as we are. So if you are in a position to do that, that'd be great. If you're not, please also consider becoming a volunteer and doing what you can through that. Go to the website phcuk.org/ambassadors That's for the volunteer side of things. And for members, if you just click, there's a donate button at the top of the website, you click that and you can click on memberships and then go through to that. Just, if you are a member, volunteer, or you've supported PHC in any way, shape or form, I just wanted to say thank you. This was a dream like 10 years ago, and now we're here putting on a large conference every year. We've got several projects underway: Lifestyle Club, Liberate, Real Food Rebellion is in its final pilot stage, and hopefully by September we'll have that all available for schools and families to buy, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. The materials are great. They're really, really powerful, and hopefully we can make a lot of difference there as well. But just thank you. And thank you to you, Jackie. You've been a supporter for years, and thank you for everything you do.
Yeah, you're welcome. I enjoy doing it.
Excellent.
So, Sam, do you have any top tips that you want to give people? Could be around anything, health, lifestyle.
Yeah. What have I been focusing on recently? With the conference and everything, my time's been very limited, so my workouts have got shorter and shorter. Just a reminder to everyone, like however little type of exercise or physical activity that you can do, try to do it on a daily basis if you can, whether it just be a 10-minute walk around the block, absolutely fine, or and really just try and fit in some form of strength training within your daily routine, even if it's just like a 4-minute Tabata thing. So that's TABATA. If you search for Tabata workouts on YouTube, there are an absolute ton of high production value 4-minute videos that you can see with no equipment for free. Just doing one of those would be massively helpful. It's usually a combination of like press ups and squats and hip bridges and stuff like that, but even just doing that once a day really, really helps people out as well. Of course, the main thing is focusing on improving your diet, but making sure to increase your health span even further, fitting in some daily exercise too.
Yeah, and listeners should probably go back to episode 10 and hear about your background, because you were into sports, massively into personal training and sports, and the what they called not demonstrations, the things that you
the experiments, the self experiments, my overfeeding self experiments. That's a really good one. So please go watch that back. It was a lot of fun.
So we've got increase your exercise, do something every day, do some weight training, and then what was the last one?
Don't try to overthink it. Don't try to have it like massively planned out. Like just go to YouTube, search for what that looks good, click on it, and just do it. Like it takes 4 minutes for those Tabata workouts. So hopefully everybody can fit that in at some stage during their day. I've got 2 young kids. I'm running around taking them to football and beavers and all sorts, but I still managed to fit that in. Like even if it's just that 4 minutes, it makes the world of difference, and trying to keep that consistency is key. One other thing I would add, Jackie, is make sure that you stay playful. Don't get bogged down in the detail of kind of, I need to be optimizing this and that and things. Make sure that you stay playful, do something that you really enjoy. Make sure that you keep on top of getting involved in your hobbies and things like that. Live life in a fun way.
Yeah, I like that. Live life in a fun way. Thank you.
Pleasure, Jackie.
Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks' time.
100%, me too. And just for the website, because the conference has got a new website, it's phcukconference.org. So if everybody heads there, you can get your in-person and live stream tickets before the conference itself on the 31st of May and 1st of June in London.
In London, which is fabulous.
No, perfect.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Take it easy, Jackie.
Now that I've heard Sam explain the different topics, I'm even more excited, especially about Sunday. Cancer has touched my family quite a lot, so that part of the program really stands out for me. Thomas Seyfried has been doing some incredible work in this area, and I'm looking forward to hearing him speak. He's a legend. It'll also be a great opportunity to connect with some of the speakers that I've been chatting to about coming on the podcast. If you decide to come in person, do let me know and I'll keep an eye out for you. I hope to see you there. Disclaimer. The content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Our guests, whether healthcare professionals or not, are sharing their personal opinions and experiences. This does not establish a doctor-patient relationship. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before making changes to your medications, treatment or lifestyle, particularly if you're on medication or have concerns about your health.